writes. But little did viewers know that this appearance would turn into a battlefield of words. The segment starts innocently enough, with Lorraine greeting Ricky with her signature smile, asking about his daily routine, his love for animals, and how he balances his controversial persona with everyday life. Ricky, sipping his coffee, cracks jokes about being a professional offender and how morning TV feels like a therapy session gone wrong. The audience laughs, Lorraine chuckles, but there's an undercurrent of tension. Rumors had been swirling about Ricky's recent tweets criticizing woke culture, and Lorraine, ever the diplomat, seems poised to address it. As the conversation flows, Ricky shares anecdotes from his career, like the time he hosted the Oscars and roasted Hollywood elites, emphasizing that comedy should provoke thought, not just applause. Lorraine nods politely, but her questions start probing deeper, hinting at the backlash he's faced from activists and online trolls. Ricky defends himself wittily, saying, "If you don't like the joke, change the channel. Don't change the comedian." The studio erupts in mixed reactions, some clapping, others shifting uncomfortably. This sets the stage for the clash, as Lorraine transitions to viewer questions, one of which accuses Ricky of insensitivity toward marginalized groups. He retorts that sensitivity is subjective and that true progress comes from open dialogue, not censorship. The air thickens, and you can sense the producers in the control room holding their breath. By now, the interview has deviated from the usual fluffy chit-chat, and Lorraine, usually unflappable, starts to show signs of frustration, her smile fading as she presses on about responsibility in the public eye. Ricky, never one to back down, leans forward, his eyes twinkling with mischief, and launches into a monologue about how society has become too fragile, comparing it to eggshells in a blender. The audience gasps at his analogies, and Lorraine interrupts, saying, "Ricky, this is a family show, let's keep it light." But Ricky quips back, "Light, like your questions or the coffee?" Laughter ensues, but it's nervous. This back and forth builds momentum, with Lorraine trying to steer the ship back to safer waters by asking about his Netflix deals, but Ricky circles back to his points, accusing mainstream media of pandering to outrage mobs. The confrontation is brewing, and viewers at home are glued to their screens, tweeting furiously as the segment unfolds in real time. As the interview progresses into its second act, the initial pleasantries give way to a more pointed exchange, revealing the ideological chasm between the two personalities. Lorraine, with her decades of experience in daytime TV, represents the comforting, inclusive voice that aims to unite rather than divide, while Ricky embodies the unapologetic satirist who thrives on discomfort to highlight absurdities. She brings up specific examples from his stand-up, like his bits on religion and gender politics, asking if he ever regrets words that hurt people. Ricky shakes his head emphatically, explaining that regret would mean self-censorship, which he calls the death of art. He elaborates with stories from his early days in comedy, how pushing boundaries led to breakthroughs like The Office, and how today's climate feels like a regression. Lorraine counters by sharing letters from viewers who felt alienated by his humor, emphasizing that comedy has power and with it comes accountability. Ricky laughs it off, saying, "Accountability? To whom? The Twitter police?" This elicits cheers from some in the audience, but Lorraine's expression hardens as she's not amused. She pivots to his animal activism, praising his work with PETA, but then ties it back to hypocrisy claims from critics who say his meat-eating jokes contradict his stance. Ricky clarifies he's a vegan advocate but jokes about human flaws, insisting hypocrisy is universal. The debate heats up as Lorraine accuses him of dodging the core issue, empathy. Empathy isn't dodging, Ricky fires back, it's understanding that not everyone agrees, and that's okay. The camera cuts between their faces, capturing the intensity of Lorraine's furrowed brow, Ricky's smirking grin. Off-camera, you can hear murmurs from the crew, and the live feed starts trending on social media with hashtags like #Ricky vs Lorraine. Viewers speculate if this is scripted drama or genuine friction. Lorraine tries to de-escalate by complimenting his talent, but Ricky senses the patronizing tone and calls it out. "Don't butter me up now, we're just getting to the good part." She laughs nervously, but presses on about the impact on young fans. Ricky responds with a passionate rant about free speech, quoting Voltaire and adding his twist, "I may not agree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to be wrong." The audience applauds. But Lorraine interjects, "But what if it's harmful?" This back and forth mirrors broader cultural wars, making the segment a microcosm of societal divides. As minutes tick by, the producers signal for a commercial break, but the energy is palpable. Ricky is in his element, debating fiercely, while Lorraine holds her ground as the moral compass. The clash is no longer subtle, it's a full-on verbal sparring match, with each point countered swiftly. Social media explodes with clips being shared, some siding with Ricky's candor, others praising Lorraine's poise. This midpoint of the interview marks the turning point where light banter morphs into a fiery debate, setting up the inevitable explosion that would lead to Ricky's dramatic exit. Diving deeper into the heart of the confrontation, the interview reaches a fever pitch as Lorraine directly challenges Ricky on his most controversial statements, particularly those from his latest special where he mocks celebrity virtue signaling and political correctness. She quotes a line about woke hypocrisy, asking if he realizes it alienates audiences. Ricky leans back, arms crossed, and delivers a masterclass in deflection. Alienate. Comedy isn't a hug, it's a mirror. If you don't like your reflection, smash the mirror, not the comedian. The audience erupts in a mix of boos and cheers, creating a chaotic atmosphere in the studio. Lorraine, undeterred, shares a personal anecdote about how words can wound, drawing from her own experiences with online trolls. Ricky sympathizes briefly but pivots. Trolls are everywhere, but silencing voices won't stop them, it empowers them. This philosophical tussle draws in deeper themes, with Ricky arguing that offense is a choice, while Lorraine insists on context and intent. The exchange becomes rapid fire, with interruptions flying, Lorraine trying to interject with facts from critics, Ricky overriding with analogies like jokes are like onions, they make you cry but add flavor. Viewers at home sense the discomfort, as the usually cozy show feels like a debate club gone rogue. A key moment comes when Lorraine brings up a recent tweet where Ricky joked about transgender issues, asking if he stands by it amid backlash. Ricky affirms, explaining it's satire on media sensationalism, not individuals. But people feel attacked. Lorraine retorts, feelings aren't facts. He counters sharply. This line becomes the viral soundbite, shared millions of times. The tension mounts as Lorraine glances at her notes, perhaps prompted by producers, and accuses Ricky of arrogance. He laughs. Arrogance, or confidence in truth? The back and forth reveals their core differences: Lorraine's empathy-driven approach versus Ricky's logic-first stance. Audience members start whispering, and social media polls pop up in real time, dividing opinions. Ricky, sensing the shift, amps up his rhetoric, comparing the interview to an inquisition. "Are you the high priestess of politeness?" Lorraine smiles tightly. "No, just the host trying for a civil chat." But civility crumbles as Ricky mocks morning TV tropes. Next, we'll discuss kitten videos to balance the edge. Laughter breaks the tension momentarily, but Lorraine steers back, questioning his influence on youth. Ricky responds earnestly, "For once, I influence them to think critically, not conform." This rare vulnerability humanizes him. But Lorraine presses, "At what cost?" The debate circles, exhausting both, yet captivating viewers. As the segment overruns its time, producers intervene subtly, but the verbal fireworks continue, building to the climax where boundaries are crossed, leading to the shocking decision to remove Ricky from the set. This phase cements the interview as legendary TV, blending humor, heat, and heartfelt discord. The escalation hits its stride as the confrontation turns personal, with Lorraine Kelly no longer holding back her disapproval of Ricky Gervais' unfiltered style, and Ricky doubling down on his defenses in a way that electrifies the airwaves. She points to specific instances where his comedy has been labeled harmful, citing petitions calling for his Netflix boycott. Ricky scoffs, "Boycotts? That's just free publicity, thanks, petitioners." The audience chuckles, but Lorraine's tone sharpens. "It's not funny when lives are affected." Ricky retorts, "Lives? Hyperbole much, my jokes don't launch missiles." This sarcasm irks Lorraine, who reminds him of his platform's reach. "Millions hang on your words." He agrees, and I use them to make them laugh and think. The argument spirals into accusations. Lorraine calls his humor reckless. Ricky labels her questions sanctimonious. Sanctimonious? I'm just asking for decency, she says. Decency is debatable, he fires back. Camera angles capture the intensity, close-ups on sweating brows, fidgeting hands. Social media is ablaze, with celebrities chiming in as some defending Ricky's free speech, others supporting Lorraine's stand. A pivotal exchange occurs when Lorraine brings up his past roasts. You roasted Caitlyn Jenner. Was that necessary? Ricky explains, it was about fame, not identity. But she pushes, it hurt communities. Communities aren't monoliths, he argues. The debate touches on cancel culture, with Ricky claiming it's a witch hunt, Lorraine countering it's accountability. Accountability to feelings? That's tyranny, he exclaims. Lorraine's patience thins. This is going nowhere. Yet they continue. Ricky with animated gestures, Lorraine with measured words. Audience reactions vary. Applause for Ricky's zingers, gasps at Lorraine's rebukes. Producers signal frantically offstage, aware the show is derailing. Ricky senses it. Are we cutting to ads soon, before I say something real? Lorraine smiles wryly. You've said plenty. The friction peaks with Ricky's bold statement. Daytime TV is afraid of truth. It prefers fairy tales. Lorraine defends, we prefer kindness. This ideological impasse frustrates both, leading to raised voices uncommon for the show. Viewers tweet about the awkwardness, predicting a viral storm. As the back and forth intensifies, Lorraine attempts to wrap up, let's agree to disagree. But Ricky quips, agreeing to disagree is disagreeing agreeably, but you're not agreeing. Laughter erupts. But it's the last straw. The control room decides intervention is needed, whispering to Lorraine via earpiece. She nods subtly, and the segment heads toward its abrupt end, with Ricky's refusal to yield culminating in his removal, turning a routine interview into a cultural flashpoint. At the confrontation's zenith, the studio transforms into a pressure cooker as Ricky Gervais and Lorraine Kelly's exchange erupts into full-blown chaos, with words flying like daggers in what would become the most replayed TV moment of the year. Lorraine, exasperated, directly accuses Ricky of bullying under the guise of comedy. Your truth bullies the vulnerable. Ricky, eyes widening, leans in. Bullying? Defending free expression isn't bullying. Censoring is.